Governor Ravi's brazen sabotage of Tamil Nadu's democracy has finally been exposed. The Supreme Court's scathing verdict tears apart his illegal power grab, declaring his withholding of 10 bills as nothing but an unconstitutional overreach. Was this a deliberate assault on Tamil Nadu's elected government? The highest court in the land says, yes. On 8 April 2025, in a significant ruling, the Supreme Court of India today set aside the actions of Tamil Nadu Governor Dr. Ravi, who had withheld assent to 10 bills, some pending since January 2020, and subsequently reserved them for the President's consideration after they were reenacted by the Tamil Nadu State Legislature. The apex court, presided over by Justices J.B. Pardiwala and R. Mahadevan, declared the governor's conduct illegal and erroneous and lacking in bona fides, effectively nullifying his decisions. The court further ruled that the bills in question are deemed to have received the governor's assent upon their second presentation following reenactment by the Assembly. The judgment marks the culmination of a contentious legal battle between the Tamil Nadu state government and Governor Ravi, spotlighting the constitutional limits of a governor's authority under Article 200 of the Indian Constitution. The case, which has been closely watched for its implications on federalism and legislative autonomy, stems from a prolonged standoff that saw the governor delay action on bills for over 3 years before taking unilateral steps that the court has now deemed unconstitutional. The origins of this legal conflict trace back to January 2020, when the Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly first sent several bills to Governor Ravi for assent. These bills, addressing a range of state-specific issues, remained in limbo for years, with no clear communication from the governor's office. Frustrated by the inaction, the Tamil Nadu government, led by Chief Minister Stalin, reenacted the bills in a special session of the Assembly in 2024. However, instead of granting assent or returning them to the legislature with suggestions, the governor forwarded some of the repassed bills to the President of India for reconsideration, a move the state argued violated constitutional norms. The Tamil Nadu government filed writ petitions in the Supreme Court, contending that the governor's prolonged delay, followed by his refusal to assent and subsequent referral to the President, infringed upon the state's legislative authority. The state invoked Article 200, which outlines a governor's options when presented with a bill: grant assent, withhold assent and return it to the legislature with recommendations, or reserve it for the President's consideration in cases of apparent conflict with central laws. The petitioners emphasized that the governor failed to exercise these options in a timely or lawful manner. The Supreme Court bench, comprising Justices J.B. Pardiwala and R. Mahadevan, reserved its judgment on 10 February 2025, after 4 days of intense hearings that raised critical constitutional questions. The court formulated 8 key questions for the parties, including whether the governor could reserve bills for the President after initially withholding assent and whether such actions aligned with Article 200's intent. The Tamil Nadu government argued that the governor's delay of over 3 years, followed by a sudden declaration of withheld assent and referral to the President, undermined the legislative process. Citing a recent Supreme Court ruling involving the Punjab governor, the state contended that if assent is withheld, the governor is obligated to return the bills to the Assembly with reasons, not bypass the legislature entirely by escalating them to the President. In contrast, the governor, represented by Attorney General R. Venkatramani, defended his actions as being in the national interest. He argued that the bills were repugnant to central laws, necessitating presidential review. However, the court challenged this stance, questioning why the governor had not communicated these concerns earlier and why he allowed the bills to languish for years without informing the Assembly of any perceived repugnancy. During the proceedings, the bench orally remarked that the governor appeared to have adopted his own procedure, deviating from constitutional mandates. The court pressed the Attorney General on why, if repugnancy was the issue, the governor did not act promptly rather than withholding assent indefinitely. In its ruling on 8 April 2025, the Supreme Court unequivocally sided with the Tamil Nadu government. The bench held that the governor's actions lacked good faith, bona fides, and contravened Article 200. By failing to act at the first instance and then reserving the reenacted bills for the President after the Punjab governor precedent was established, Dr. Ravi overstepped his authority, the court said. Consequently, all subsequent actions by the governor were set aside, and the bills were deemed to have received his assent upon their second presentation. Legal experts view this judgment as a reaffirmation of the balance of power between state legislatures and governors, reinforcing that governors cannot indefinitely stall legislative processes or act as unilateral gatekeepers. The ruling also underscores the judiciary's role in safeguarding federal principles, particularly in light of recent tensions between opposition-ruled states and governors appointed by the central government. This case is not an isolated incident. similar disputes have arisen in states like Punjab, Kerala, and West Bengal, where governors have been accused of obstructing state legislation, often leading to accusations of political interference by the central government. The Tamil Nadu verdict, building on the Punjab precedent, may set a benchmark for resolving such conflicts, compelling governors to adhere strictly to constitutional timelines and procedures. For now, the Tamil Nadu government has hailed the ruling as a victory for democracy and state autonomy. As the dust settles, the decision serves as a reminder of the delicate interplay between India's federal structure and the constitutional roles assigned to its institutions. With this historic ruling, the Supreme Court has not just struck down rnravi's authoritarian games, it has delivered a fiery warning to all governors who think they can trample over state rights. Tamil Nadu's fight is India's fight. Will power-hungry governors finally learn, or will they keep testing the patience of democracy? The clock is ticking. Subscribe to AK Matrix today for in-depth analysis, powerful narratives, and the latest updates on issues that matter to you. Hit that subscribe button now and join the movement.